at Dugura in Meagan Province, Papua New Guinea. This is the home of the Anglican Church of Papua New Guinea, where 2 Australian missionaries and a couple of carpenters landed in 1891, so 121 years ago. And they came to this place and they built a church, and from here that church spread to all corners of the country in Papua New Guinea. And from 2 Australian missionaries 121 years ago, we now have a fully Indigenous church, and the seed that was planted here has spread far and wide. And yeah, it's a very special place for me. I was 22 and doing my honours at the University of Sydney, and I really wasn't enjoying it. And I felt a stirring within me from God. And over a cup of tea one morning, my priest said, "How's the honours thesis going?" And I burst into tears. And he very wisely, and in response to, I'm sure, the Holy Spirit, said, "Contact ABM. I'm sure they'll have something for you to do." And my response was, "Who's ABM?" And so there began my journey of discovery. And I went to ABM and they told me about this school called Holy Name that was taking grade 11 and 12 students for the first time, and they desperately needed a chemistry and biology teacher. And my initial reaction was, that's not for me, I'm not a teacher. But gradually, over 6 months, the Lord changed my heart, and I went to Holy Name and became a teacher. So that's where the journey began. I was humbled so many times by the generosity of the people. I learnt what it meant to have real relationships, friendships, and how important they were. And being on time and getting things done actually wasn't the important thing. It was building relationships with people. And if you built those relationships, then things happened. It wasn't the other way around. I also learnt that having things that you can buy does not make you happy. Having family and friends and spending time with people and enjoying God's creation is what actually makes you happy. And as long as there is food on your table and a roof over your head, then it is God's glory in relationships, in laughter, in sharing someone's sorrow as well as their joys, and that living in community and everyone having a place and belonging to that community.
Welcome, welcome, come on in.
The Anglican Church of Papua New Guinea has a threefold ministry of teaching, preaching and healing. And here at Dugura we have all those 3 elements. Holy Name School is the teaching element. It's a secondary school that takes students through to grade 12. We also have St Paul's Primary School, which takes children from grades 3 through to grade 8. And that primary school covers the elementary schools in this region, and the secondary school takes students from all across the entire province and even some from other provinces. And then we have the healing ministry, which is St Barnabas Hospital, which is one of the major health centres here in this region. And it does patrols out to some rather remote villages up to 2 days walk away. And then there's obviously the preaching ministry with this incredible cathedral behind me here, which was built entirely through volunteer labour by Papua New Guineans. It was their offering of thanks for the church's anniversary, and it was consecrated in 1939. And it has, from this base, it reaches out to parishes and chapels across the entire of Meagan Province in this North Coast region. And the work of the Holy Spirit in this place, you can just feel that something is here, that God's presence are among these people. And when you go out and you see the joy with which they worship our God, and the singing, and the way in which they've integrated their cultural traditions, when the kundus beat and call people to worship, and when they come in their own languages, their tokples, in Wedau or Kaiavi or Dawawa. And the service is theirs, this church is theirs. It's not a church from Australia, it is the Church of PNG. And so that preaching ministry encompasses the healing and the teaching. Wherever they go, they are about bringing God's people to their full potential. Here we stand on the site of the first cathedral, or the first church built in 1891. And when they went to take that church down to build a bigger one, they found that one of the corner posts, which had been made from local trees here, the rosewood, Modawa tree, had actually taken root. And 121 years later, this is the tree that started as a humble corner post on a church. And here it is, growing as a constant reminder of the history of the church And also it's a sign of its journey and its future, because cuttings from this tree have been taken to other churches across the country, in Port Moresby, in Leigh and Mount Hagen. The Modawa tree tells me that mission can be accidental. When they cut the sapling to build the chapel, they didn't know that a tree would grow. They were just building a chapel. But then they saw that it had grown, that it had taken root. They saw that God was at work, and so they let it be to see what God would do. And look at what God has done. God has created a church that has spread across this entire country.
I believe and I know that you are the true one.
Community at Dagura is really special. The sense of you being part of a much bigger history, and the fact that whether you're at the school or the hospital or the primary school, or a member of the village community at Wedow or Waimira or Porvo, the villages surrounding the station, everyone's a big family. And the times when all those people come together in that community, whether it be around a church celebration or a sporting event, or sometimes around a death, you feel a connection to everybody else there that goes past what you do and where you're from, to that sense that you really are a family of God. And the way they embrace you, you come, I knew nothing, and yet they welcomed me and they embraced me and they said, come share with us, share our food, share our way of life, and share our faith. There is something about coming to a country like PNG where the normal layers of protection and isolation or insulation maybe that we have built up in our society get stripped away. We don't have things around us. We don't have the distractions that we have in Australia. The Modawa pilgrimage is a chance to walk in the footsteps of the missionaries, the teachers, the doctors and nurses, and so many other people that have come to Dagura, come to PNG over the last 121 years. It is a chance to learn about yourself. It's a chance to learn about your own church and how our church in Australia and the church in PNG have come together and are so similar in so many ways, but again are different. And to be able to rejoice in those differences and those similarities, it is a chance to challenge yourself by coming to a place where there is no running water, there is no electricity for most of the day, where your only way to get in and out is to get on a truck and then to get on a dinghy or to walk. And that is so unfamiliar to us. To come to a place where a complete stranger is welcomed like a long-lost son or daughter. And it's a chance to challenge yourself about how is our church in Australia, working with the church here. We see often the church here as having nothing, but they're not. They have so much to give. And it also is a chance to come and celebrate an incredible partnership, a relationship that has changed and grown over the years. And it's really exciting to see where it's going now and the future that's out there and the ideas that are coming from this church about how to help themselves. It's not that we're coming here to tell them what to do. We're coming here to find out what they want to do and then working together about how we can best make that come about. When I came here, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but through here I have discovered gifts. I have seen what is possible if we are just but willing to follow God and take that step and go to the unknown and to not be afraid of what is out there and to just be open to God's hand in our lives.
When